The ASA Pro Tour rollerblading's professional circuit lands in Surf City, Huntington Beach, California. It's the Phillips Fusion Soul Bowl competition. Welcome to Surf City, Huntington Beach, California. We've got the U.S. Open of Surfing and the Phillips Fusion, putting together the world's best alternative sports athletes from surfing, skateboarding, BMX, and of course, aggressive inline skating. You've got the Yasutoko brothers, Mike Budnick, Fabiola da Silva, and a lot of the other big names haven't shown up for the Soul Bowl version 2. Why? Because the X Games is right around the corner. That leaves the door open for some new faces. Let's check them out.
A lot of street riders showing up for the bowl competition. Ryan Dawes, Aaron Feinberg, Sean Robinson, Randy Marino. Also some guys that we haven't seen in a while, like Bubba Shada from East LA.
The bowl's a cool idea because it's a different contest than every contest throughout the year, because every contest is a straight vert contest, and this is a more well-rounded kind of skater contest.
And you can see there, Bubba's trying to push the limits with something a little more creative. Now, Ryan Dawes, one of the Texas contingent, also taking it to the vert.
As is his friend Randy Marino, and all these street skaters should make for a creative contest.
You can see a ton of different stuff that you don't normally see in a vert comp, which is kind of cool, I guess. My money's on Mike Budnick, probably one of the best rollerblade bowl skaters. I give props to that.
Indeed, he deserves props like that. Mike Budnick, very, very adept going around the corners of the bowl, but we're also going to come back and take a look at some of the worst wrecks. The ASA Pro Tour at the Phillips Fusion is brought to you by Yoo-Hoo, America's favorite chocolate drink, skates on or skates off. By Corn Nuts, feed your soul with 7 mean flavors. Corn gone wrong. By Paul Mitchell, the style and lifestyle sports.
Oh, Huntington Beach is probably the most world-renowned beach. Me and the Texas boys always love to come up here, and I don't know, for some reason, Cali always shows Texas boys a good time.
Yeah, I just moved about a year down here, down south. I used to live in Santa Ana, and it's just better down here. I'm used to the, like, warm weather and stuff like that, so it's nice. I'm a beach girl, so.
You couldn't ask for a better place to have a contest.
And getting things underway, obviously the environment is perfect for a big comp. Sean Robertson loving the crowd, loving the weather, taking his first drop. And going for some extra risk. Never an orthodox skater.
Well, remember, we talked about that street skating factor. Sean Robertson, another one of these guys coming from the streets. And this is the kind of innovation and creativity you expect to see in a bowl contest once these street skaters have a look at it.
Huge nose pick 720, and here things got a little out of control. Falling out, but holding it together, the crowd loving it.
Well, you keep pushing it, it's bound to catch up with you sooner or later. Sean Robertson climbing out of the bowl. That's the toughest part. Once you go down, you gotta climb your way out.
He nails a 66 to get things started, as young Takeshi Yasutoko takes it to the air.
Well, we keep talking about these street skaters. There are a couple of vert veterans out here. Takeshi Yasutoko, his older brother's out here as well. Huge Viking flip, so this is a different approach to the bowl contest. And because it's a bowl, it's somewhere in between a normal vert contest and something a little more creative like a street contest, so you'll see a lot of different approaches to at it. And this is a more conventional vert run.
Unfortunately for Takeshi, he goes down on his final trick, but it doesn't hurt him too bad. A 92 sets the limit. So now Mike Budnick, the American everybody's been touting for so much time about how he goes around the corners of the bowl, and boom, right off the bat.
Well, it's it's the way that he works the entire bowl. And the judges sat down and talked with the skaters before the contest and reminded them, you know, this is a bowl contest. We don't want to see just Vert runs. And Mike Budnick has always been very good about utilizing the entire bowl and really skating it the way a bowl's meant to be skated.
Now, there is a happy medium, obviously, because Budnick doesn't have some of the big tricks like a huge Viking flip that Takeshi has. But so far, he's worked the corners well, and they're a little McTwist.
Right, and remember, since the first couple of contests that we saw in this bowl over the years, the other skaters have gotten much better about incorporating the corners. You saw Takeshi go frontside royale through the corners. So Mike will see some stiffer competition this year.
And he's having some trouble there. It looks like his line kind of got ruined. You can't skate all the way across the flat bottom because you lose all your speed. You can't really do a big air. So twice now, here a third time going back the opposite way. Mike Budnick's definitely going to look to improve in his second round.
It really is too bad. It started out with a lot of energy. You see him taking a lot of speed around the corner with the sweat stance, and then, as you mentioned, just fizzled out near the end.
85.25 puts him in second place, but not the typical Mike Budnick run. Now, obviously, we had some big moments. We also had some big wrecks. Let's take a look. Oh, those crazy Texans. Ryan Dawes right now sits in 5th position, but we're still in the middle of run number 1. Fabiola da Silva, Marco DeSanti, and Eito Yasutoko still to take their first runs. Welcome back. It's the ASA Pro Tour at the Phillips Fusion in conjunction with the U.S. Open of Surfing. Lots of surfing and skating going on.
It's a great event, good crowd, good vibe.
Lord have mercy. Oh my Lord have mercy, mercy, mercy. Lord.
Well, I just came down and check out the surf, check out the surfers, chicks, a lot of fun.
I've always said that every time I do the event in Hermosa or any of the beach events, even if it's on the East Coast, that all of our events should be on the beach. You come down here and there's just hundreds and hundreds, there's thousands of people just all laid back, kicking it. Everybody's enjoying the beach, enjoying the surfing, the skating, the biking, everything. And when you have an event like this, it's just the general vibe of everything is it's so relaxed and laid back, and it's really easy to get into what you're doing.
Come on, gotta keep skanking, Lord. Everybody should be skanking. Everybody should be skanking. Everybody should be skanking every day. All right.
This is like the center of the Southern California. I mean, it's the place to be, so why not have a contest here?
The crowds are ready. We're in the middle of run number 1. And it's time for the fabulous one. Fabiola da Silva out of Sao Paulo, Brazil, has been competing with the men all year.
With so many of the top international riders absent from this contest, it's a great opportunity for Fabiola to have a really good showing at this contest. Big 540, right into the invert on the extension. Remember, we want to see him using the entire ramp. Coming really close to the corner. Here she goes, topside soul around the corner.
But not all the way around it. Fab's still kind of working this more like a vert ramp than an actual bowl. There's the flat spin fiver.
Well, as much as you'd like to see them utilizing the entire bowl, you still got to play to your strengths. Fabiola spends a lot of time on the vert ramp, bucking on fishbane. She's having a really good run. It is not the best use of the bowl that we've seen, but she stayed on her feet so far for the duration of the run, and she's packed it with a lot of tricks. And she has gone close to the corners on a couple of occasions, so that was a pretty good run for Fabiola da Silva.
Fabiola here, nice carving, 540-degree flat spin, 73.75 right now, puts her in the bronze medal position, but there's still a lot of skating to come. And this guy, having not yet taken his first run, could bump her out pretty quickly. Eito Yasutoko, he has dominated in bowl competitions.
And he's been dominant in vert competitions. You see him skating this thing with a lot of energy, going very high with the rocket, right into the 540. So bringing out his vert moves, flat spin 540. Remember, his younger brother incorporated those corners as he works the extension. We're talking so much about the corners out there in the bowl, it's easy to forget that extension, which provides another opportunity for creative lines. And here he goes, taking the long way across the bottom, the flat bottom of the bowl. Both ways. Not the best line I've seen through the bowl.
But check this out. Yeah, we saw him trying that in practice. Soul grind, then boom, backside and back in. Eito Yasutoko, so he's used the corners. He's done his big trademarks. 1080 flat spin to finish things off. He did a little bit of everything out there.
Well, I'll give it to him. He put some creativity and some excitement. The crowd loves it. It was sort of strange skating through the flat bottom, but he may have made up for it with those last few sequence of events. Here's some of those typical vert moves. That's about 7-8 feet out with a huge 540. We expect that from Eito. Right into a flat spin 540, so that is very conventional. And then he packed it with a lot of creativity to balance that out. And that gives him a high score, 91 for second place.
So the domination of the Yasutokos continues. Right now, the Yasutokos both sitting first and second. Powerhouse American Mike Budnick in third. We'll see if he can come back and try to take the top from the Phillips Fusion Soul Bowl. That is, if he doesn't drown first. Here we are at historic Huntington Beach, California for the Phillips Fusion Soul Bowl competition. Host of surfing. That's right, Huntington Beach has become Surf City after a great long history. And what do? We took one of the most dominant Americans on bowl and threw him in the water for the first time.
Hey everybody, this is Mike Budnick here. We're here with local pro, Huntington Beach, Bubba Ciati here. We've got Soul Performance rider, Ralph Koch right there. And right next to me, we got the owner of Soul Performance and longtime surfer himself, Mark Brogue. So what are we gonna be up to today?
I think we're gonna teach these guys how to surf. Go hit the water, start with some basics here.
Some basics on the beach, teach you guys how to paddle, how to get by waves and stuff like that. Make sure you're ready, take you to the beach. Let's see what you can do.
Let's do this.
When you're in the water, you're gonna wanna have your nose just barely out of the water so it doesn't purl or go forward and dive underwater. So you're gonna lay down on the board, find your balance, and when you're paddling, you want to cup your hands good so you get a good paddling stroke going. As you feel the wave come behind you and scoop you up, you put your hands here on the rails, push your chest up, get your balance going, and then snap your feet under. Both feet at the same time. Very important. Stay low, feet about shoulder width apart. Enjoy the ride. This your first day of surfing. What'd you think, brother?
Started off good. As soon as I got tired, started drinking a lot of water. Stomach got heavy. Then I just started drowning after that.
God, it's so much fun. I had no idea. Can't wait to do it again.
Enough fun and games for the riders. We've got a serious contest going on. It's time for Mike Budnick's second run, taking a look back to this beach bash in 2001, where Mike finished in second place. He got around 2 corners and really showed off how he was able to incorporate those corners into his run and was rewarded with a second-place finish.
Yeah, Budnick is so technical, and he's got so much control around a bowl sometimes. If he could pull that off here in his second round, he's definitely going to move up.
Well, it just goes to show you why he's one of the favorites coming into this event. Right now sitting in 3rd place, and you know that he wants to do better. In fact, a lot of people picked him to win this contest, so this second run is going to be very important for Mike Budnick. As he drops in, remember, we are looking for speed around those corners, backside. Right into the alley fish spring, good speed.
Yeah, in the first run, this is where he got lost. He kind of went back and forth lengthwise. Ato made up for it with some creativity up on the rails. Mike didn't. It just kind of petered out.
Well, as you mentioned, petering out. He just missed a topside mistrial. Doesn't look like it's taken him out of his rhythm too much. Right back into it with the inverts and the 540s. But remember, his strength on this bowl really is in the corners and on the coping. Again, having trouble with the coping as he lays back on the frontside royale.
So hopefully here, he looks like he's looking toward the corner. He wants to go for the big grind.
Well, once you see, and that I was just going to make the point that he's trying to increase his score from the first round. It's finals format, only the best run counts. And already he's missed 2 or 3 grinds, and that was before that major bobble.
So Mike Budnick is checking out the corner. He wants to go for it again. That time, unfortunately, too little, too late. Only made it about 3/4 of the way around the first corner. Yasutoko's given him some positive reinforcement, but the reality is the door is now wide open for those two to really take the gold and silver.
Right. They realized that Mike was a major competition, and there you see him not moving up, sticking with 3rd.
Being out here in California, there's just so many beautiful beaches. You start up north, you got Malibu, Santa Monica, Venice, down through Manhattan Beach, Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, all the way down to San Diego. We got probably some of the nicest beaches in the world. But for me personally, I have to go with my local Newport Beach. Newport Beach is just so laid back and chill, and everyone there just seems to just want to hang out and have a good time. There's no stress. People aren't giving you hassles about anything, and it's home.
Tahiti, because that's supposedly really nice.
My favorite beach is Huntington Beach. It's closed, it's nice, it's not really dirty yet, and my favorite place to eat is right here, so it's my favorite beach.
And if we can keep Bubba Ciata happy, we can keep anybody happy. The ASA Pro Tour, upcoming shows, unbelievable skating from the contour and all around the world. It's stunts and antics coming at you. You got to check them out on asaskate.com. Now, when we come back, it's the brothers Yasutoko as gladiators battling in the bowl for the gold. The ASA Pro Tour at Philips Fusion is brought to you by Philips Electronics, making things better all the time. By Norelco, put it to the test. And for all the latest on skating, check out asaskate.com. Feed your habit. Hey, welcome back. It's the ASA Pro Tour Vert competition here at the Soul Bowl, and we are down to Takeshi Yasutoko, who is currently sitting in 1st place. He's had a number of competitions this year where at this point in the contest, he's been in 1st.
Right, and he's not often finished in 1st, and he's still got his brothers to skate behind him, so he knows he's got to keep competing. He can't rest on that first one score.
Beautiful, huge Viking flip. That's really his trademark. It used to be Renee Holmgren's big trick, but Takeshi's the only one who on the Pro Tour has picked it up.
And there is a new trick from Takeshi, alley-oop acid soul. Always adding new lip trick variations. That is one that is more familiar to us, backside to soul grind. Upside down, invert on the extension. And in the first round, Takeshi was able to post a high score by using the corners. Just like that, frontside royale through the corner, and now pumping around those corners, which is different than his brother, who, remember, actually skates all the way across the flat bottom. So much better use of the bowl from Takeshi.
Takeshi Yasutoko wall to wall here, trying to finish off with a bang. Big 900 McTwist. A good run. Check this out. Here's the Viking flip. Beautiful control. Grabs method, pulls his feet back, and he even ups his score 92.75, trying to make the gap big enough to keep him in the goal. So Takeshi Yasutoko leads his brother Eito, who now has the pressure on him.
But it's a narrow gap, and Eito showed us some exciting things in the first round. If he can put it all together here in the second round, he's got a great shot at overtaking his younger brother. Big rocket air, about 7 feet out, right into the 540.
Yeah, you actually pointed out, Arlo, that he actually made up for the fact that he skated directly across the ramp twice. So if he can avoid that, he's got a good shot.
Right. If he can clean up his line a little bit, he's got a very good chance. You see him using the corners better. Now here comes that little 50-yard dash all the way across the flat bottom, and he goes both ways. It really is, I hate to say it, but it's a weak point in his line going back and forth like that, but he's got so much in this run that the judges overlook it. This is very creative. Soul grind on the railing, and he jumps right into a backside stall and then back in. And the crowd goes nuts over something like that. It's very dangerous.
1080 McTwist, flat spin, he went down on that the first time, he went down on it the second time. I don't know if this is going to be enough. Very similar to his first run.
So what do you reward? This is the dilemma that the judges have to face now. The big stunts and the creative tricks. Here finishing off with the 1080 or the good clean line through the bowl. It'll be interesting to see how these scores play out.
Eito looking a little worked. 91.75, he improves, but not enough. Younger brother Takeshi, you can see him looking on and clapping. He takes the gold here in Huntington Beach, California. Well, they've been so dominant all year long. The Yasutoko brothers, without Ty Chris and a couple other big guns here, easily taking the first and second position, with American Mike Budnick taking home the bronze. Budnick, tell me about these two guys. What's up?
I don't know, these two guys are getting a little bit annoying with their 20-something foot airs and their flat spins and their 900s. The truth about it is you can never get tired of watching these guys skate. I mean, every time I come to an event, I see these guys stepping it up higher and higher, doing the craziest tricks. And I know the first time we did this bowl thing, it was just pretty much a vert competition. And as it's gone along now we've had this 3 or 4 times, and to see these two guys tear it up the way they're doing it, then they're adding a little bit of street influence into it, doing crazy grinds through the corners, and it's really cool to see. It's fun to watch.
You know what else is fun to watch? Eito Yasutoko tearing up new terrain. Check this out in practice on the contour course. Corn nut sick trick, Eito Yasutoko, he tames the beast, the full loop. A true vert rider, trying something a little bit different.
What's it gonna take? Should I be myself, or is that a big mistake? Should I change my
A very special thanks to the official two-way radio provider of the ASA, it's Rocky Talk.
Just to save my face, but this world keeps on breaking it down.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.